Let's move it to Anfield, mate, where Liverpool always win, and against Nottingham Forest, you'd have thought that was a bit of a home banker, we used to call it. Not quite the way. Arne Slot has his first defeat. Liverpool concede their first goal, and Nottingham Forest win at Anfield, I believe, for the first time in 50 years. Mr. Mustoe, I know you watched this game. I mean,
I did.
Explain, mate, explain.
Oh, well, I got to start with Nottingham Forest, Rob. I thought Nottingham Forest, from the first whistle, were excellent, were really, really strong. My first line of my note on this game in their column is, wow, they've come to play. They've come to Anfield to play. And I think from the starting lineup, and we'll get on to some of the changes, he beefed up midfield a little bit. Dominguez played in there. Elliot Anderson from Newcastle United played in there along with their normal two in the middle of the park. Beefed up midfield. He's still got Gibbs White buzzing around underneath Chris Wood. And then, you know, their aggressive nature was what stood out to me, Rob. Very aggressive from the first minute, made it very difficult for Liverpool to build up and to play the way that they do with their passing. We'll get on to Liverpool, but I think Forest's kind of energy really hurt Liverpool's normal silky smooth passing. Thought that was really, really good. And then in the second half, Rob, when, you know, the plan's kind of doing really well, Nuno Espirito Santo makes the changes, brings on his pacey wingers. He changes his kind of more midfield generals, if you like, to be more defensive, to his pacey guys later into the second half, and they combine to score the winning goal. From Callum Hudson-Odoi, wasn't it, that scored in the 72nd minute?
Yeah, Elanga made the run, didn't he? Brilliant run down from Elanga.
Brilliant run. I mean, he's so fast, by the way. Elanga is so fast. Just in terms of a away performance of a team, Robin, and I know that Forest have got themselves into trouble last year.
Yeah.
We know the owner's a bit flamboyant. He bought all these players. They got into trouble. They got penalised. They got away with it. When I looked at this team with Elliot Anderson coming in, James Ward-Prowse, I think, was another player that was in there.
Yeah.
Played in the middle of the park. You look at the defensively, they had another central defender, Rob. This team's not bad. They ain't going to have no problem at the bottom of the league table, in my opinion.
I had them to go down, by the way, which I'm looking.
Yeah, well, but
terrible shout
signings.
For me.
Well, but the signings came in strong, and they look. When you look at the team on the pitch, they're really, really good. And to finish off, Rob, I'll let you come in a second.
Yeah.
I'll go to my underappreciated performance of the week, and it's Nuno Espirito Santo, given the job he did at Forest, with those changes, going to Anfield, having a reasonable start to the season, not really fancy to go there after Team Liverpool that are in such good fettle and the fans are so excited. The tactical, the game plan, the changes, the subs, they combine to score the winning goal. And he isn't loved, is he?
No,
he's a bit dull. He's not great interview. He's not going to say anything. He hates doing all that. He's short and sharp. We watch his presses every week.
Yeah.
They're like
doesn't give you much, does he?
Yeah, it doesn't give you much.
No.
But let's not underappreciate him, because that, I think he has taken Forest on from Steve Cooper.
Yeah.
They've had difficult times, but that was a real highlight for Nuno. I got to say, that's probably one of the best, days he's had as a manager. Top class.
And fair play. I mean, we saw signs of that at Wolves, didn't we? The first time he was in the league and did so well with them. And you're right. Nuno's one of them. I think, I remember reading at the beginning of the season, he was one of them, like, in a hot seat. If things didn't go well, he'd probably be one of those first ones to lose his job. I wasn't sure, based on what I saw last year, that they can really kick on. I thought the league's going to be a bit better. How they're going to get goals, how they're going to defend and keep clean sheets. But he's obviously worked well. They bought well, with PSR rules and knowing they have to stay within that. So it's a really good shout. And I think it was 1969, the last time Forest beat Liverpool at Anfield, which is an incredibly long time. I think it's 27 visits they've had to Anfield without a win. So well done to Nottingham Forest, well done to Nuno. Again, I didn't see this game, Rob. I kind of saw little highlights and then looked at a few stats just to try and get a bit of a feeling of it. I kind of picked up that Liverpool had some possession. They said they had 14 shots, only 5 on target. I heard Slot saying he thought they didn't create enough with the amount of ball they had and weren't as dangerous. Is this a consequence of maybe international break, getting players together? Is it a consequence of, in some ways, this league, and I'm not going to be demeaning of Arne Slot, because I'm sure he understands the league and that, but you can come against any team in this Premier League any given day, mate, and if you're not right, you'll get beaten this league. That might not happen in other leagues around the world. I'm not saying whether it does or not. But this league, if you're not right, you can come unstuck.
Yes. And that's exactly what happened, Rob. That's exactly what happened. They weren't right. Nottingham Forest, I've just given the credit they deserve, were excellent. They were a tough team to play through. And Liverpool, they just had a really bad day, Rob. I did watch this game. It was that 10 o'clock window with all the games going at the same time. And I just picked out this one. I'm interested in the slot kind of experiment right now. And I mean, first off, like the way that they play, it really is kind of interesting, the midfield. And I don't want to get bogged down in it now, but the way the midfield kind of rotate and operate, it's really unusual. But it was a bad day for Liverpool, Rob. And I'll tell you what is a bad day. It was a bad day in the final third. I have never seen Liverpool or for a few seasons now pass the ball so badly. Like they find a way out. They play through the press. They got a little bit of time. And then, there's a ball that goes into the stands. There's an overhit ball. There's a Mo Salah comes inside and tries to connect and knocks it out of play. Mo Salah comes inside, tries to dink it, goes out of play. There's so many final balls that were really bad. And that, by the way, right through the game, Rob. That was like, wow. Like, I'm sure at some point they're going to start connecting.
Get it together.
Robbies, everybody, grab them. But just so that even Trent, it was just he tried to hit a couple of long balls. They went over. It was just a bad day of their football. Now, the international stuff, traveling, I don't know, maybe it's just interrupted their flow a little bit. But that was the main thing from this game. Nothing crazy bad with the performance. It was just so many players had bad days in possession of the ball. And I think I actually read a quote from the manager saying that he's not used to that sort of on-the-ball performance from some of his players. I couldn't agree more. The initial part of the build-up play was good out the back. They didn't risk the ball. But just the final kind of connecting key passes and all that stuff was like, wow. It was like, it was, and then the second half, Rob, it didn't get a lot better. Crowd gets a little bit quiet, and they kind of run out of ideas. They made their changes, and Kakpo and Darwin Núñez came on, but at that point, of course, Forest were ahead midway in the second half. They're digging in even more, and it was hard to break them down. So nothing much more than that for me. Bad day at the office. Lots of individuals. Mo Salah, I mean, there's one side note, Rob, right? And I want to get your take on this because I know you didn't see it as close as I did, but you can. So Mo Salah, with the way the Liverpool are playing now, I think under Klopp, well, I know under Klopp, he really was given license, Rob, to come inside a lot and to play like a striker a lot. Well, in this, he's definitely wider. He's definitely playing wider. Now, that's okay. And, he's good enough to be effective from that position. But it is different. He is further away from goal. He is going to look to combine and to play others in more than he normally is. And at times he did that. Particularly, I'm remembering 3 or 4 in the second half. It's like, just give it away badly. And when there was kind of simple combinations on, he's used to receiving it, Rob, and dribbling being the one, and shooting. But he's a little wider, a little further from the goal. Just something to watch. Just something to watch.
Well, it's probably a little tweak under Slot that we'll have to keep an eye on and see. If he's still getting his goals from there, I'm sure it's not a problem. But if he starts thinking like the chances aren't coming here, then he's not going to be a happy bunny, is he? Because we know with Mo, only happy when he's scoring. Just interested, Rob, just moving quickly forward with Liverpool. Got a massive weekend back in Champions League, AC Milan away on Tuesday. They're at home to Bournemouth, I think, the following weekend. And then I read somewhere, again, the numbers might be, but I think it's 7 matches in the next 22 days, which is going to be a real test for this squad and this group and this manager. Knowing European football, knowing how Premier League is, and if you're not right against Nottingham Forest, you're going to come unstuck. So there's going to be other teams along the route. Is this now, this next month, 6 weeks, a bit of a different challenge for Arne Slot? The first 3 games, the clean sheets and that. Now we're into the meat, aren't we? We've kicked off now. We're properly into it. 7 games and 22 days for a successful club is going to be a challenge for the team and a new manager.
And the best thing about it, Rob, is that we're going to see this new philosophy play out with all these games. We've got plenty of evidence. We're going to see it in different teams, different competitions, and how it suits the players. They've had a great start, of course, and the players have said how they enjoy playing it. It's much more kind of control possession, et cetera, et cetera. I did a breakdown last weekend about they're a bit more insurance when they give the ball away. So I think so. It ain't going to be plain sailing, and there is going to be some wrinkles. This is the first one Arne Slot's had. I'm putting it down to individually really poor decisions and play on the ball. We'll get more kind of confirmation of that, Rob, or whether it's something different. I mean, the last thing I'll say on this is that, I know it doesn't seem very much, but the pace of football, when it's a little slower and more controlled and more certain with the passing, that changes a lot. The way that the opponents can get behind the ball If it's a little slower, they got time to retreat. They get there. We just saw it before with Arsenal and how they did it against Tottenham, and it's different. It's a different kind of skill that Liverpool need to show to find ways through. Of course, De Bruyne can do it. Bernardo Silva could do it for Man City. Odegaard is brilliant for doing it for Arsenal. Who's going to be the Liverpool midfield player that's going to connect and is going to just make those passes in between defenders to get players in behind? It's a little different. And as you said, the next 7 or 8 games, we're going to find out whether that is a problem or whether they'll adjust to it and do well.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.